Cincinnati Bengals were slated to not only be one of the top echelon teams in the AFC, but also be one of the top echelon teams in the NFL. And throughout the first 4 weeks, they just haven't looked like it, starting 1-3 and coming off of a 27-3 loss to a Titans team that, let's just face it, we all predicted them to be better than, and they just haven't looked like the last 2 years of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, we all know the Bengals over the past couple of years have started off slow. 2021 and 2022, both, they started off 0-2, but in 2021, they ended up making the Super Bowl. In 2022, they ended up getting back to the AFC Championship game, ultimately to lose to the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of questions are going to come up right now as the Bengals are not playing well. They are ranked dead last in points for, I'll say that again, dead last in points for, with only 49 points throughout the first 4 games, ranking them dead last and scoring only 12.3 points a game. Defensively, they're ranked below average, 17th, letting up 23 points a game. And this Bengals team is looking a shell of themselves throughout the first 4 games. And the questions is going to come up. Is it time for the Cincinnati Bengals to hit the panic button after the first 4 weeks of the season? And the answer to that question for me, I'll get into later in the video, but let's just talk about some of the things that have been going wrong with the Cincinnati Bengals. Today's video is brought to you by ExpressVPN. For me, it is very important to have a VPN to protect my online privacy. It'd be very, very creepy if there was someone out there who kept a log of every single thing that you did online. So why let your internet provider really do that to you online? The best thing to do is to get yourself a VPN, and why not go with the ExpressVPN, the best VPN available. Personally, I like it for the fact that you can unlock Netflix shows that you do not get in the US market. Now, one show that I've started to get myself into is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You search Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the US, doesn't come up, but you can switch your location to Canada and you can research Brooklyn Nine-Nine again, and bam, it pops up right then and there, and you can catch up on your episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, if you click the link in the description below, you will get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. Just by clicking the link below and you sign up today, you will get 3 months free of ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link down below and you will get ExpressVPN. Now, let's just get back to the video. Offensively, they have not ran the football very well, ranking 31st in running the football. So one thing that I thought they were going to come into this year and do a little bit more was establish the run. Now, we all know about what Joe Burrow can do, but I believe that Joe Mixon was going to probably get a little bit more of the load, probably more carries and more usage. And they just haven't ran the ball. And they're also a team that ranks 31st in rushing attempts with only 76 rushing attempts as a team throughout the first 4 weeks. That offense has not looked the same, and we all know the main reason is the health of Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow suffered a calf injury heading into training camp. Well, not heading into training camp, the first week of training camp, and something does not look right with Joe Burrow. He looks like a guy that is a shell of himself the last 2 seasons, and he just doesn't look healthy at all. And it's time to rest him, maybe? Not sure about it, but when you watch Joe Burrow play, he's not moving around and creating things like we're accustomed to seeing him doing. He's not as accurate with the football as we expect him to be, and it's easy to see that something is just not right with Joe Burrow. Now, I'm personally a little bit disappointed because Burrow was my MVP pick coming into this 2023 season, and I expected him to just hit the ground running with this offense and Jamar Chase, and this team just has not done so on the offensive side of the ball. Now, defensively, they have not looked great either. I think the losses of Vonn Bell and Jesse Bates, 2 of the bigger playmakers that were on that defensive side of the ball, has hurt them in the back end of their defense. I think the back end of their defense was one of the strengths that they had the last 2 years, with Bates being one of the top safeties and Vonn Bell from The Ohio State University being a turnover machine and very productive in his own right. And I think losing those two guys, Jesse Bates to the Falcons and Vonn Bell to the Panthers, I think those are starting to hurt this football team. Now, Trey Hendrickson has been playing very good on the edge with 3.5 sacks. BJ Hill up the middle has been playing some really good football. Sam Hubbard has been playing solid. But I think the issues with this Cincinnati Bengals team is the secondary that just has not been playing some really good football. So at the end of the day, they are both sides of the football as to the reason why the Cincinnati Bengals just have struggled and have not lived up to the expectations that we expected for them going into this 2023 season. Now, is it time to hit the panic button? The answer to that question for me is going to be yes. But the main reason I think behind the answer to that being yes is the health of Joe Burrow. When you have an MVP caliber quarterback, along with the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball, with a guy like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and a guy like Tyler Boyd, they just have not lived up to what we thought they could be during this 2023 season. And Joe Burrow's health is a big part of it. He just does not look the same. He's not getting the same velocity on his throws. He's just not pushing the ball down the field like we expected him to. Now, the addition of Orlando Brown Jr. has helped, I think, a little bit somewhat as far as protecting him. But at the end of the day, they have just not been able to be consistent offensively. And I think the injury to Joe Burrow, the lack of a complementary running game to help offset some of the woes that they have in the passing game, I just think the complementary football for them is not there. And to think, this team is dead last in points. Dead last behind the Bears and the Panthers. Think about that. A Bengals team that we expected to be one of the top scoring offenses and their defense to feed off of it, they just haven't been that. And the only win that they have was a little bit questionable in itself against the injury banged up Los Angeles Rams. And even in that game, the offensive line has some issues, especially with Aaron Donald, but Aaron Donald's going to cause everybody issues. I just still think some of the problems, the offensive line, still there. They turn the football over, and they just haven't been able to establish any type of a running game to even offset the injury to Joe Burrow. Now, the next couple of weeks for the Bengals, they got the NFC West opponents back to back to back with the Cardinals, who we all thought were going to be the bottom, but they've looked solid. Seattle Seahawks, they look solid. And I think the most complete team in football, the San Francisco 49ers. Then you have the Buffalo Bills the next 4 to 5 weeks with the bye week in week 7. So as the schedule for the Bengals gets a little bit tougher and them looking bad, it is time to panic with the Cincinnati Bengals team. And who would have expected that coming into this season with all the expectations that they had and all of the things that they had going on with this football team offensively and on the defensive side of the ball, despite losing Bates and despite losing Bell. There's issues in Cincinnati, but the main issue, the health of Joe Burrow. And is it time to rest him maybe this week against Arizona? I would say yes, get him a game off, let his calf rest. But the Bengals, time to hit that panic button. But either way it goes, I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great next day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.